What is up, everyone? Welcome to the No Life Tech Show, coming at you every single Wednesday at around 8 p.m., maybe 9 p.m., sometimes 10 p.m., sometimes earlier. You get it when you fucking get it, and you're going to like it. Sorry about last week. We uploaded the videos, both portions of the video, and I obviously didn't check them before uploading them, and only my audio came through. And I think it actually had something to do with I was using wireless headphones. So I think the computer recognized it was getting sound, but wasn't actually getting sound through the analog way it should be getting. And I think that's what happened. And I didn't check before I uploaded it. We're definitely not going to reshoot an episode like we would used to. So you just kind of miss out on a week. So sorry about that. But we're back with you this week. We got a bunch of new subscribers thanks to a popular video that we put up last week in regards to the whole IGN plagiarism stuff. So hello, make sure you follow us over at No Life Digital on Twitter and Instagram. I actually might be getting rid of those accounts, not exactly sure, and just consolidating with my own personal account. But you can also head over to our website, which is our central hub right over there, nolife.digital. That's not going anywhere. And make sure you, if you want to interact with us in any way, we have a Discord. So hopefully as our audience grows, the Discord grows, we get a vibrant community. Maybe one day we'll put up a subreddit or just do it through Twitter or something. But for now those are the options to come chat with us. I plan to do a lot more videos, so enjoy.
I was gonna say, also by far the easiest way to get a hold of us is definitely Discord.
Yeah.
Just join that Discord. Mm-hmm. But I do think it's funny that this happened last week, because there was a moment when you got up and Doobie and I were just talking during the gaming part, and I made a comment, Wayne doesn't check these, because I was making a joke about you.
I know, it's just you get on autopilot, and then I just throw them up there. I do all the, and it's not like an easy, like I just upload them and that's it. Like I gotta make the thumbnail, I gotta make the titles, I gotta upload them to the website,
cut it, everything like that. But yeah,
and then I gotta break them down off of YouTube into MP3 and then re-upload them to a server. So it's like a long process, but I don't actually listen to the show before they actually go up. So I saw someone tweeted to me, so thank you to the guy who tweeted to me and said, hey, there's no audio. So I said, fuck. Well, I'm just going to have to take it down. Yeah, it's all right. It wasn't too much that we talked about. I think Octopath was one of the big ones, but we can kind of glaze over that this week. And then we just talked about like some Threadripper stuff. I think that was the biggest news.
Yeah, there wasn't a whole lot.
Nah. All right, well, let's hop into today's show. We start off talking about new products that we pick up in tech. I got two new products. One you can see right now. It's my new WA14 warm audio large condenser microphone, and it's meant to imitate the AKG C414. So I'm going to show you both of them, and then you'll kind of understand what this company is about, because I only heard of them recently. So there's a microphone called the Newman 87 and then the Newman 47. Both are really expensive microphones. They're like some of the best in the world, but they're really fucking expensive.
They also run hot. Also, you might want to turn your gain down just a tiny bit or get a better pop filter.
Am I popping?
Oh yeah.
I might just be too close to it.
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah. Because like most of the time it's pretty, like it sounds a lot crisper, but there is a couple of times where you just hit those P's, man. Yeah,
I might like my mouth is right on it.
Yeah.
That should be a little bit better. Yeah, but here's the Newman 47. Oh man, we got a bunch of new toys that I can play with. By the way, I just downloaded a whole set of sounds. So
really, he downloaded one.
Wow.
I'm playing. I don't know if you can hear it, Jerry, but I'm playing it, and all you can hear is
wow.
You'll have to hear it if you listen to the show. All right, so there's the Newman 47 U47. This is like, I mean, this is what a lot of like your favorite albums are recorded on, and from Sweetwater, it's $4,000 brand new. So there's that NPR
sound, dude.
Yeah, that NPR sound comes from the Newman. and also like hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of room treatment.
Yeah.
And that guy's fucking silky smooth voice. And then there's the Newman 87, which is a cheaper version but still wildly expensive. So again, you can get it from B&H at $4,500, and this is more for vocals and higher trebled instruments. But these are like, oh, this is the Rhodium edition. That's not, you don't need that one. It's a little bit cheaper than that if you get the normal one. But these are like really nice microphones. So what Warm Audio does is they say, hey, we could probably make really good microphones that sound very similar to these products, but at a fraction of the price. They're still a little expensive, but they're not nearly as expensive as the Newmans are. And they're actually modeled the same. They're going to fit into the same sort of grips. They look the same. There's really no clear difference other than some sound aspects of it. So, you know, it's obviously not a perfect replication of it, but I mean, if I were to have the two microphones here side by side, you would not be able to tell. You just wouldn't be able to tell, especially since my room's not treated. I'm not singing. There's no backtrack anywhere. Like, it's just me talking into the microphone. You can't tell. And it sounds really, really good. It sounds super clear, crispy. You know, one of the things that NPR does that I read about that I completely understand, and it's like that sound is like exactly what you want to get when you do podcasts. It's how when they talk, they just sit above all other sounds. It's really weird. So if you're driving in a car, obviously there's a lot of bass going on. You got the wind going by your window, so it just brings a lot of just low rumbling noise that can get in the way. But you throw on NPR, dude, and their voice just sits at the top, crystal clear every single time. And that sound is so difficult to get. And you know, my goal as someone who produces content is to try to get that sound as close as possible without, you know, spending millions of dollars on it. But this is one step there. Sounds really good. I highly recommend it. I was talking to Joel, who's our resident musician guy, and he says that Warm Audio makes a lot of really good products, and one of them being their condensers. So check out Warm Audio if you're interested in some like really nice mic preamps or mics. Here's the compressor that he was talking about, the WA2A opto compressor. It looks like it's won an award for something.
Cool.
It's pretty dope.
I think you just got to play around with it a little bit because it's definitely hot, but it sounds good.
It might be coming hot on Zoom.
That's what I'm wondering. Yeah.
Yeah, Zoom's a piece of shit because like you guys sound muddy to me when it comes through Zoom, but when I listen back to the audio, like on YouTube and stuff like that, it sounds fine. You know, it's just the way that I guess it processes live audio.
It's almost like every, you know, Zoom, Skype, Google Hangouts, everything fucking sucks.
And you'd figure
Welcome to tech, everything sucks.
You'd figure like that, like communication would be the one thing that they would figure out like perfect, but no one has done it right. There's still no perfect messenger. There's still no perfect email client. There's still no perfect fucking FaceTime. You know, nope. It's actually crazy. So if you're a developer, I mean, it's $1 million idea if you can figure out how to do it. You know, if you can make that killer. I mean, Zoom sucks. If you're going to be completely honest, it's the best thing that I've found. It's wildly popular because it seems to be the only one that people know about. But at the end of the day, it still sucks. It still doesn't give you what you want. There's no customization. The audio sucks on it. It's just not the best option.
That's what I mean, where it's like, yeah, especially for video and audio stuff, like Zoom sucks, but everything else is a literal dumpster fire.
Yeah.
So you have to be like, oh, well, okay, at least it works.
And like we were using Google Hangouts for a while, and that worked okay, but I mean, then they fucked it all up.
Then they stopped doing anything with it. And it died instantly.
And Skype has always been like hit or miss because, you know, the video quality is just not good for this sort of thing. You know, like it's good for just talking to someone, but when you want to record
that's what half of them are. And then like Zoom's really the biggest quote unquote professional business application for audio teleconferencing, and it's still like you can tell like it's meant for that. I wish someone would make kind of almost a production style, like hey, we're trying to make this good for people who do podcasts, because there's a lot of podcasts in the world now.
Yeah.
There's definitely a market for that, instead of just like, no, I'm doing a business meeting from Boston to LA. I don't really give a shit.
Right.
It just has to look good enough.
Well, that's why I was super excited when Discord launched their video service.
Which also sucks.
It's just not there yet. It's just super laggy. It's just not there yet. But if Discord can do it right, or Slack, or like these like pretty good chat applications that have like servers that you can set up, that would be awesome if they did it right. But right now, it's just Zoom is the only one to really use. The video quality is pretty good. The audio quality is pretty good. And that's about it. There's really no other option.
No.
All right.
I mean, unless you go ham into Skype, and even then, like, I still don't get how many podcasts use Skype, to be honest.
Yeah, but they also all have.
It blows my mind, dude.
But they also have like that. It sounds like someone's calling in on a phone. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't have like a.
Oh no, I'm not saying it's good.
Yeah.
But I just
have that nice
there's
quality.
No, it doesn't. Like that's what I mean is there is a lot of decent podcasts, but they just do Skype, and you can tell it shows.
And they always have problems with it. There's always problems with Skype. Someone calls in and their call gets dropped, or then they'll be on all of a sudden and they'll start ringing in again. Like Skype's just a mess. And then when they put it into Windows, and then it became even bigger of a mess.
Yeah, no, because you'll put it into a little tiny window. Then someone's call is going to drop out. The second someone's call drops out, well, now someone's like in 3 little box screens that someone made.
Yeah.
Like that happens almost every other fucking Skype show I've watched.
Yeah. Another thing that sucks about Zoom is it's fucking $15 a month.
Yeah.
It's not cheap at all.
It's $15 a month for still bad.
Yeah, that's as much as my Netflix service. Like that's a lot of money, you know. I don't think people realize $15 a month is a crazy amount of money to ask. And what are you gonna do, man? I would love for someone to figure it out though. That would make my fucking year. All right, and then I also picked up the Apple TV 4K, dude. I got an Apple TV, man. I got rid of the Nvidia Shield.
I was gonna say replacing the Shield.
The Shield it's all right, but the problem is that Android's TV service sucks, dude.
No, the Shield was good when it came out, and the problem is that came out like 4 years ago,
and it's never really updated. And I would recommend the Shield if you're the kind of person that does that whole Amazon hacking thing. Like if you do that stuff and you get all those free channels and you set up a code.
If you were to make it a Plex server or something, yeah.
Then I highly recommend it because
otherwise, no.
The encoding on it is top notch, and it has built-in Chromecast, which is sometimes nice, and it's a good box, but it doesn't. When Kate watches most of the TV, she wants to be able to flip through, turn it on, have her little playlist, and have it just work the way it should work, and Apple TV seems to do that. It also has Dolby, which is nice. The HDR is really nice on it. It's just a really nice option if you're in the Apple ecosystem. So I don't recommend it unless you own Apple products. There's just no way to recommend that. And that's pretty much it, really.
Yeah, no, I don't have anything against it. I'm Team Roku, dude. Well, like Roku's always been my favorite because for Roku, for me at least, it's not like the Zoom problem. Roku is just good enough. That's all it is, and that's all I need personally for my TV.
Yeah, Roku's dope.
The thing I like about them is since honestly, mostly it's because they are a third party and they're not in any specific ecosystem.
Yeah.
So a lot of those stupid trade wars, like Amazon versus YouTube bullshit like that, trying to run YouTube at 4K versus Apple's codecs, everything like that is just like, oh no, it just fucking works.
Yeah. One of the biggest things that I wanted from Roku that you don't get with Apple TV is that it has the native Xfinity streaming app. So I steal my parents' Xfinity account.
Okay, yeah.
And then you just have Xfinity. Like you just run it through their app.
If you are a programmer, just don't ever fucking try to program anything for Roku. Their language is fucking garbage. It's fucking garbage, dude.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the prettiest looking app either. Like Apple TV definitely looks better. They have the aerial thing, which is nice. So when you goes on to like the screensaver, like it looks really good.
Oh yeah, I mean, I don't have a problem with the screensavers or anything, but I mean, honestly, it's just more like, okay, I can watch Twitch and YouTube. I think that's literally the only thing that can still watch Twitch and YouTube, and like that's absurd to me. So that's why I kind of go with Team Roku.
Well, you can watch Twitch and YouTube on Apple TV. It's just you're not watching YouTube 4K.
Yeah,
That's the only thing.
and if I have it on a 4K HDR TV, I want my 4K YouTube.
Yeah. Luckily, I just use the YouTube app on the TV because the WebOS on the TV is not bad, and I use it just for YouTube. Everything else, I'll just run it through Apple TV. But what sucks now is like I want to figure out a way where I can run everything through the Apple TV, like the Xbox, the PlayStation, where it just automatically, you know what I mean? That's just one remote. So I have to figure that out. I think you have to do something with a Logitech Harmony Hub or something, but there is a way to do it.
No, there is. That's what I always wanted from Roku to actually do, but no one's ever fucking done it. Is like take the idea of the Xbox One,
right,
and actually make that work.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, but no one's done it. And I mean, I'm not saying that's an easy thing to do, obviously. But no, that would be cool if you could just be like, okay, cool. I have my PlayStation 4 that's plugged into it. I have everything plugged into it, and it's just one thing and it works.
Yeah.
But we're not going down that road. We're going towards you got to be in an ecosystem for everything, and everything has to have its own fucking ecosystem. So, yeah, just have fun.
Yeah. I will say, too, if you're someone who watches movies, like you buy movies to watch, like you spend.
Oh no! If you spend money on iTunes,
yeah,
definitely buy it because iTunes like they do have their encoding figured out.
Yeah, I mean it looks so fucking good. It's not the best, not Blu-ray quality, but it's close to it. Like you still get a little bit of banding, but it's close to Blu-ray, and you're not spending the $30 for a fucking Blu-ray.
Yeah, no,
a couple bucks. You can rent them.
I would totally do that if I cared about movies a lot. Like there's definitely people in my family who I'd buy them an Apple TV in a second.
Yeah.
Because all they do is they just buy movies.
Yeah.
And that's perfect for it. But for me, it's just like honestly, the thing I do the most is watch YouTube. Yeah. And then the second thing is probably Twitch and Netflix.
And honestly, many people would just be if that's like because I watch a lot of YouTube too. You just get by with the WebOS on your TV, It's like at least with the Samsung one, it works great. You just turn it on, it shows you your app, boom, you click right on it, and it works good.
I just miss real WebOS.
Speaking of movies, I watched this movie, Good Time, dude.
Was it a good time?
It was such a fucking good time, dude. I highly, highly recommend it. It's by these guys called the Safdie brothers, and it's about these two brothers. And the one's a scumbag, and he uses his other brother who has Down syndrome to rob a bank. Things go wrong. His brother with Down syndrome gets arrested, and the whole movie is him trying to break his brother out, and it's just a crazy fucking movie. But what's cool about it is fucking Robert Pattinson is the lead actor, and he is so fucking good in this movie. It's actually really crazy because you think of him, you think of Twilight, right?
Yeah.
No,
I think he's Sparkly Boy.
He's now like. When I after watching this movie, I was like, dude, he's as good as like what's his name? The fuck is his name? Batman. What's his name?
Which one? There's like 7 of them.
The Dark Knight Batman.
I have no idea.
What is his name, dude? I can't think of it right now.
Dear listeners and viewers, I am not a movie person. I'm sorry.
I'm drawing a blank. God damn, he's also in The Machinist. He's in so many. All right. Well, he's as good as that. Like he was killing it in that movie. So I highly recommend it if you like heist movies. And then what was the other movie I watched? Lady Bird. And I don't recommend that movie. The movie's terrible. It won all these awards for no fucking reason. Skip it. Don't watch Lady Bird. It's boring. Moving on to tech news.
Just watch Shark.
Did you get any? Yeah, Shark versus fucking the Megalodon.
I watched that movie again. It's so fucking bad.
You watched the Meg?
No, watch the Whale Wolf one. It's so fucking bad.
Oh, I bet. But hey, dude, that's why you watch them. I don't think you were expecting a fucking Oscar-winning flick.
No. I was expecting exactly what I got, which is, we legitimately put in some chick with big tits to hold a giant needle with literally a costume from like the slutty Halloween store.
Yeah, that's how they are, dude.
Wow.
All right, so guess what, dude?
What's up?
We got it. We got the announcement, dude. The GTX,
Maybe.
the
We got the
RTX.
we got the announcement of an announcement.
Well, we got Turing. We know Turing's here.
Wow.
We
And a
know,
$10,000 card.
yeah, $10,000 machine learning computational CAD card.
Wow. Yeah, totally. Don't anyone listen to the show, don't fucking buy one.
If you do, please let us know how it works.
Yeah, because I mean it's 10 grand. It's got 4 gigs of RAM. Just really, really yeah.
But now, what's crazy is that during the announcements, they showed like these videos, and they showed, here it is right here. So I'm gonna play a little bit of it. Now, notice the numbers at the bottom, because that's the telling part. Ready? Here we go. All right, I'm gonna have to fast forward it. All right, ready? It's coming, dude. The 2080.
Surprise, motherfucker.
The 2080, the GTX 2080 is coming. Turing, the newest architecture. Now, what's cool about this motherfucker?
Week.
Yeah,
next week.
Next week?
Yeah, Gamescom next week.
Oh man, I'm ready for
it. That was the announcement of the announcement.
I'm ready for it.
Like, they announced this new RTX card for ray tracing and CAD work, basically. And then they were like, "Oh, we'll have more announcements next week." Wink, wink. And it's just like, "Oh, well, Gamescom's next week." This was SIGGRAPH.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, SIGGRAPH being like the computer graphics, trade show.
But like Quadro style, CAD style graphics trade show.
Yeah,
Not
like these cards go in like Pixar movies.
Yeah. Not like video game playing card show.
Right. Unfortunately, well, I guess I'm excited to see if ray tracing, if the live ray tracing is true. So people don't know what ray tracing is. It's very computational heavy. You need to render. They've never done it live before, where ray traces on the go.
I think on that card, it's true. On the RTX card, it's true in a very small scale. That's literally what that card's made to do, basically.
Yeah.
Also, it's a $10,000 card.
That's
like on a 2080 style card. Yeah, I'm still thinking we're like 6-7 years out.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like,
but this is definitely the start of being able to give people those tools to start working towards that entirely. And also just the actual figuring out the performance quirks of how to make it possible.
Yeah. So it's like the way that would translate for gamers is basically the lighting in your games would now refract, and they would bend, and the lighting would actually bounce according to the environment in a real time. So bullets would travel, and the light from, say you shot like a laser bullet, the light from that laser would actually refract around corners, and it would just hit certain objects in a real-time manner, in a realistic way. And that is like, when that comes, that's when we're gonna get that next jump into graphics. Like right now, it's like the whole 4K resolution kind of race, which is cool. But like, still, play Witcher 3 at 8K. It still looks like a video game.
No, with ray tracing, that is totally that step to realistic physics of light. Like, that's what's so cool about it, is like that's the idea behind it, is that you're trying to emulate how light actually works instead of what we currently do, which is like draw a ray particle and it's here and then it's gone. That the idea is it's supposed to actually move with it, which is nuts to me.
Yeah, it's insane. And it might sound trivial, and you might think like, well, can't they do that now?
To me, this is like HDR. To me,
yeah, this is that. I think this is like the next HD.
Yeah, like this like ray tracing in video games isn't gonna be the 1440p to 4K jump or the 1080 to 4K jump. It's gonna be we have HDR now.
Yeah,
it's gonna be more like that, where it's like you're not going to think about it, but the second you see it and then look at something that doesn't have it, it's just going to be glaring.
Yeah, it's going to look like shit. It's going to look like, like you're playing a PS2 game. because it's going to be that good. So like right now, the way they would do it is with real ray tracing, light ray tracing. They would set the scene up, they would render the physics out, and that would take, however many hours in the day to do that one scene just for one image. Then they do that over and over and over again to render out an entire scene to plays out over 10 seconds. This will do it in real time, which is fucking insane. And then when the technology gets even better and even better, it'll just get more simplified, and then pretty soon everyone will be able to get being able to program ray tracing, live ray tracing in their games, and that'll just give us this whole new jump in graphical fidelity. It's gonna be fucking dope, man. It's gonna look so dope. Here are all the little secrets too that were dropped in the I guess in the little press conference teaser here. So you could see like this guy's name is Roy Tex, and like there's just like little weird things that they kind of
someone being named like Mac 20 and crap like that.
Yeah, so here's a tweet by Shrunk. It says not _11, so basically saying it's not going to be the 11 series. Mac 20 is going to be the 20 series, and there's 8T. Well, so we're going to get a 2080 announced.
His name is Mac 2080. Like, really? I wonder.
Right. And that's kind of cool. I like how they do that. I think that kind of marketing is always fun, because they know we're all the naming scheme is just ridiculous anyway, so they're kind of having fun with it. But yeah, Turing is coming, man. I can't wait to see what the 2080 series is gonna be. If I can figure out how to get the funds, if I can get the funds for the RTX 2080, I'll let you guys know.
Well, I was gonna say we'll have a great time next week, because that's probably when it's gonna actually be announced, which seems really on line with every leak we've heard for the last 3 months that were apparently not true. Yeah, I don't know. I'm expecting it to be more expensive.
Oh, for sure. I mean, how much more though?
I'm thinking it might come out at $1,000.
Oh wow, you think so? For the 2080?
Yeah. Well, normal launch is 700. 1080 was 700. I can definitely see 800, but I can see it going all the way up to $1,000, because the graphics cards out right now are really good, but it's also thanks to the whole mining situation last year, everyone going through trying to ramp up production because you can never get a card. Well, now they're so full of stock now.
Yeah. They're
going to price that thing up and just try to get people to buy 1080s till they go out.
And then you're not losing out if you buy 1080. You're getting an amazing graphics card that will run every AAA title at Ultra.
People are trying. Well, I've known this has been coming for a while too, because as much as Nvidia's been trying to deny all the rumors, I mean, for like the last 2 weeks, I've been seeing like B stock 1080s for $300. Like what?
Yeah. So if you remember, here's kind of what the ray tracing will look like live. We played this before in an older video, but this is the Star Wars scene, and the Star Wars
so pretty.
I mean, it's insane, and it's cool because you look at it, you're like, oh, this is obviously a rendered scenario, but it's not. This is a live scenario.
Like if just imagine in like 6, maybe 7 years, that is going to be the game you're playing. Like when you boot up Star Wars Battlefield.
I would say maybe even earlier, dude. I would say maybe even like 2-3 years.
I mean,
because it's not like the technology's not there. It's just the computational.
It is now, I guess. No, because that was the thing too, though, is I've heard about ray tracing on and off for I think like 13 years now. So it's one of those things where it's like, at least we finally have the hardware now. We'll see how long it takes to come down from 10 grand for the hardware.
Yeah.
But like, it's one of those things where like, for probably like 13 years, I've heard someone every other year be like, it's coming like in a couple of years. No, I think we got the part this time. So hold off, I would say. Have a little bit of bated breath, but I am happy we have the hardware. This is definitely like that jump we needed to actually even get the hardware to make it be like, okay, now we are on a time scale
Yeah,
instead of just like it's coming.
yeah. Don't
Wink,
expect
wink.
to be getting it. Like if you were to buy this card now, don't expect to be playing any fully ray traced games yet. You
Yeah,
have to
no.
wait for them to be developed. But you're still gonna have a banging ass card that'll probably run 4K 60 on almost every single title at Ultra. That
Yeah, the
I'm pretty
28
sure we can assume that.
I doubt the 2080 is going to actually have real-time ray tracing.
Yeah, you're probably right. You're probably
It's
right.
like they just made a $10,000 card that only has 4 gigs of RAM as like their first thing that has real-time ray tracing.
Yeah.
It's going to take a. I'm thinking 6.
Should we make bets?
I'm going with 6. 6 years.
I'll go with 3 years. I'll cut that in half. I think 3 years.
I mean, I'm hoping for 3, but I'm guessing 6.
It's good. It's good to be a little more conservative on that. All right, moving on. Threadripper 2. We were talking about it last week, but you didn't hear us talk about it, so we'll kind of bring it up again. Here's some battle benchmarks against the X series, the X Core series by Intel, and Threadripper just demolishes everything. Really, I mean, it's insane. This card or this chip.
It does. I mean, we were talking most of last week how nuts it is that it's like, all right, so you have an 18, you have a chip that like costs less than $2,000 that has 32 cores.
Yeah.
Literally 2 years ago, you were like having to pay $2,000 for like 10.
Right
Like-
now, Intel's 18 core chip is $2,000.
Yeah,
You know, this-
and that was
this is
because
double that.
that was because of AMD last year already, and it was just like, no, this is getting insane. Like it's awesome, but it's also just completely crazy too to me because it's like, oh yeah, like 2 years ago I built a computer for a friend and it was like, here you go, dude, you got a quad core chip, no hyper threading, and you're gonna be set.
Yeah. Well, now you can give them 32 fucking cores, 64 threads, with a TDP of 250 watts.
And if you are in the workload so they can use this shit, it's mine. Like it's insane to me. It's absolutely how good it is.
Yeah,
But
it's pretty dope.
If you aren't in a super heavy thread-based core-based workload, it's useless.
Yeah, that's not a gaming CPU. This is
I mean, like gaming, but I mean, like it's one of those things where it's like if you're doing heavy math, this thing's gonna kill it. But then at the same time, it's probably gonna take you longer to even open like a zipped file.
yeah.
Yeah, you
That's a
know what
good
I
point.
mean?
But if you want like a dedicated render machine, if you're into that much, if you're into that much video editing where you just need a tiny little kind of PC that
If
just
you're Pixar,
renders.
dude, yeah, if you're Pixar, you're stoked.
Dude, you get one of these, you get a $10,000 fucking Quadro,
Mm-hmm.
and there you go, dude. You got 64 threads with a fucking live ray tracing, and then SLI. Get 2 of those, so you're gonna spend $20,000 on that.
You need more like 6.
And then double SLI.
Go big or go home.
and then you have no excuse to get your fucking work done. Yeah, this is pretty. This is a pretty dope chip, and I mean, I don't see myself getting one, even though I kind of want one for posterity.
The other thing too is like where 32 is so much. That's why it's also partially crazy to me. Is just like what the fuck can actually even use this?
I don't know. I really don't
But
know.
the benefit of that and why this is really awesome is you can now get like a 12 core first gen Threadripper for like less than $500. Like
Yeah.
you can get a 12 core 24 thread part for like I think it's like $500. You can pair it with a motherboard for like $700 at
Yeah.
some places. Meanwhile, like we just said, like if you want that Intel Skylake part, it's $1,300 for just the part.
Right.
You can get both of those and then pair it with like 16 gigs of RAM, maybe even 32 for like less than $1,000. That's insane.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, then you have a fucking beast editing machine.
Yeah.
Beast
For under
editing
$1,000. Like that's nuts, dude.
I wonder if there's any small form factor motherboards for this part.
Doubt it.
This is the X399.
This is one of those times where no, with Threadripper, I'm gonna doubt it just because like Threadripper's 4 times the size of your normal die.
Yeah, it's fucking gigantic. They have a, they do have a small form factor.
They have a mini ITX.
They have a X399M from Tai Chi.
Or Azerak Tai Chi.
Yeah. Oh man, see, and then you kind of thread this together. You put some 32 gigs of RAM in there, and you have a tiny little editing beast. That's kind of
my god,
appealing.
dude.
That's kind of appealing.
That's so huge.
And you don't have to get the 32 core version. Like you could still
get the 12, dude.
Yeah,
they're coming out. They're coming out with the new 12s for like $700, but you can get the old one for $500. That's already insane. That's absolutely insane.
Yeah,
that's as many cores as I have threads. And I just built this computer last year.
I know, dude. It's insane because we were just talking about this shit on the show. It feels like.
Yeah, we did last week when the audio didn't come through.
No, I mean like the fact that like when we were just talking about Threadripper 1 and we were going on Threadripper 1.
Yeah. I still don't know about doing mini ITX with Threadripper. Maybe micro ATX, the old 4-slot, could maybe get away with that. Yeah. Because the only thing I'm really concerned about is I'm looking at some of these boards and I'm just like, all right, the only way they were really able to do this is really shove the RAM right up to that die.
Yeah.
And you have such a huge die with Threadripper, and especially like the new Threadripper, 250 watts. You have to put such a fucking beefy ass heatsink on that.
Yeah, and they look ridiculous. The heat sinks that come with them.
Oh, it looks ridiculous, but it's also like the heat sink's a lot bigger than that die is. And the RAM slots are already right next up to it. You're probably not gonna be able to put RAM in it. Like you'll put your cooler on it, and then you'll have like a RAM slot you'll actually be able to access.
Yeah, I don't even think you could put the small form factor RAM on there.
Yeah.
Oh well, you don't need RAM.
Yeah, no.
Just get the Optane.
Just buy that and then use like a little ribbon cable.
And just put it on the floor.
Yeah.
And just put your RAM on the floor. All right, moving on. Oh, I did want to talk about the Surface Go real quick because I see a lot of people recommending the Surface Go. And
dude, it's been hit or miss, yeah.
I just don't want people to buy it, dude. I do not want people to waste their money on this thing. Because it's just not gonna unless you have the money, unless you're willing to drop $600 on something that's gonna take notes and maybe watch Netflix on, there's really no other reason to have it. You're not gonna edit video on it. You're not gonna edit photo on it. Like it's just like a note-taking thing. If you got to do some light coding on it, it's good for that. But it's like super duper niche, and I highly doubt a normal consumer is in that niche. You know what I mean?
No, but if you want a $600 computer, I think it's pretty decent.
Yeah, it's cool.
Like it's for you do have a hard budget, and you want like a laptop.
Yeah, but then I'd just get a laptop though. I would just get a laptop. There's a lot of good options. They're not nearly as portable, but you're gonna get something that's a lot more usable than something like this because that processor is just not up to anything. I saw some guy doing a video editing in Premiere Pro at like 3 frames per second and be like, see, it edits at 1080p perfectly fine. It's like that's like saying this car drives and then just pushing a car down a hill.
But that is fair, but it's also, it's $600 or like even $400 where it's just like you're not going to be editing anyway.
No.
Like,
no, you shouldn't.
If you buy this or a $400 or $500 laptop and that's your budget, like it's gonna suck no matter what.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm
saying if that's your hard budget, it's not terrible. It's not the end of the world.
I still think you could do a lot better looking in the aftermarket for a laptop. If you need that portability, I would definitely refer you to anything else like any other tablet.
I would tell people to save up, but I don't know. I haven't played with one personally, and I've seen I'm mostly playing devil's advocate here because I don't think most people should buy it.
Mm.
But I think it's not nearly as bad as some people think it is, because I've seen a lot of reviews be going both ways. People either love it or they hate it.
That's the problem I had with a lot of those reviews, though. So I saw people who really enjoy it, but they got that product for free. You know what I mean? Like,
I
this
mean,
is
like,
definitely a product that
I'm
you're
not talking
spending a
you-
lot of money on.
Yeah, I'm not talking like YouTube people. I'm talking like actual publications.
Yeah.
You know, like Engadget, Verge, Ars Technica, etc. Like even a lot of them were split, and it was just like I think it's.
They're still getting them for free, though.
And then they return them. Yeah, that's the way those review sites work.
Yeah, but it's so easy to be like, this product's super cool, you know? We didn't pay. Like, it's different for like a phone or like a full-fledged laptop that have specific use cases. This is such a niche product that it's like there's really only so much you can do with it. You know what I mean? Because you're not going to do much else.
When's the last time you bought a $500 laptop? I'm really curious.
I don't. Beats me. I mean, the closest thing I can say is the
what this
iPad.
is, dude.
Yeah.
Like that's what this is. Like it's if you're in that budget market, that's what you get. Like that's all you get out of them.
Don't buy it. Save your money. Just save it. You're gonna kick yourself in the ass when you buy this thing. I'm telling you. And the fucking bezels are insane. I can't look at these bezels any longer. All right,
Yeah, you have an iMac.
Yeah, it's bigger though. It's got a 5K. All right.
Yeah, and it's got
and
like
I can actually edit in 1080p
with 3-inch bezels.
No, they're not 3 inches. They're like 1.5 inches.
Okay.
Be fair.
Yeah. Sorry, excuse me. 1.5 inches versus 2 centimeters. My bad.
No, dude, those are like 1 inch long on a fucking 4-inch screen. All right, the OnePlus 6T.
Maybe.
So I'm not exactly sure. What is this, a flagship phone?
No, the OnePlus. Well, sort of. Yeah. How OnePlus has always done it.
I don't really know OnePlus too much.
Well, we talked about it last year with the 5T. How OnePlus does it is they have 2 flagships a year. They have their spring flagship and their fall flagship. So, example, spring they released the 5, fall they released the 5T. Spring this year they released the 6, so fall they're going to release the 6T. And the idea is it's
like the way iPhone does like the 10 and the 10s or some shit.
Right. It's that old TikTok,
right?
4 then 4S style, but they just do it in 1 year.
Yeah.
Instead of every other year.
That makes sense.
So there's been a lot of rumors coming out of it. We'll see if it's what it is, but a lot of people are trying to figure it out because they're thinking it's going to be a different bezel, mostly, and
Really?
also prices. Yeah. Well, it's gonna. I mean, in some of the pictures, what people are thinking, it might look more like Essential, with like that weird little notch just for the camera.
Which is dope. Yeah, the way this looks, if this is correct, I like that.
Yeah, with 8 gigs of RAM.
It looks a little bit like someone's kind of like looking at you like this, but I mean that's way less obtrusive than a fucking intrusive. Way less intrusive than a straight up just a bar across the top.
But
yeah,
that
looks pretty clean.
That
actually.
phone is the Oppo R7. Oppo basically owns OnePlus, if I remember right. But basically, a lot of the ways you can use if you can look at an Oppo flagship and just be like, "Huh, that's pretty much what the OnePlus is going to look like, isn't it?" Oh, yep, it does.
Interesting. I guess that's OnePlus though. That's part of the pricing structure of it too. Which is okay, because the phones are pretty well priced.
I mean, if you can get a phone with that small of a bezel, 8 gigs of RAM and a 128 gig hard drive for $600 or $500, yeah, that's the last one was $530.
Yeah.
If you get that for $530,
yeah, it's a dope phone. Phone.
That's one of the best phones on the market.
Did you see MKBHD's video too, and how he basically uses his OnePlus over his fucking Pixel 2?
Dave Lee does that too.
Yeah,
I've noticed a lot of people actually do that.
They were saying the Pixel just gets laggy over time.
I don't know. Mine hasn't. But like, I think it's also just having a new phone. But it's OnePlus does a lot of things right. Like, it's a really good phone. Honestly, the OnePlus phone does have better specs than the Pixel.
Yeah.
Really, it does.
I mean, that's a big endorsement if someone who, I mean, that phone's half the fucking price, and they're using it over the Google Pixel, which is, they say they would use the Pixel because it's got the best camera, but it's just the OnePlus, it's just newer, the price is cheaper, and it just feels better.
Well, yeah, that's one of those things too, where I think a lot of those guys are definitely a lot more on what OnePlus is doing of like, yeah, we have a new flagship every 6 months. Because they're definitely the kinds of people who are like, yeah, I get 4 phones a month, so yeah, I'm switching it.
Yeah, very true.
That often.
Very true.
But I just even mean with that, where it's just like, yeah, dude, they're usually really good, solid phones that you can buy for $500. And I think a lot of them are slowly coming around to that, where it's like, yeah, I can just carry this around. It's good enough in every way. It's got pretty superior specs in some regards.
It's a dope
The camera is good enough, and then if I break it, I do not feel as bad.
But the problem with it is, we talked about it last time, is they only cover half the bands.
Yep.
Which is huge. Like, that's a killer for them, because they could be such a bigger company, which would drive their prices down even more. But unfortunately, I don't know, it's probably a licensing thing, but that's just the way it is with them right now. This looks pretty cool. I like that notch idea, though. Like, 'cause I'm thinking, like, how do you get rid of a notch? Like, how do you get rid of that whole area, just make it a screen, other than a stupid fucking pop-up camera? You really can't.
Which Oppo also did.
They did. That was their phone, yeah, the Oppo with the fucking pop-up screen.
That was them. Like, with the stupid little pop-up.
Yeah, but fuck all that noise.
I mean, that's the other thing, though, is because since they are in China and you're all the suppliers, they can just kind of
just do whatever they want.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I think they choose probably what's the best or seen as the best towards a Western audience. But like the rest of their phones are just kind of old, like almost like old Sony from the 90s of just like, or even Samsung for phones like early 2010s.
Yeah.
Of just like, oh yeah, we made this one, and then 2 weeks later, oh, we tried this one. Oh, how about this one? It's just like more and more of a radical, stupid idea.
Which is awesome. That's where you find that little piece of gold.
Asus ROG form.
Yeah, exactly. AKA, I mean, if we're really going to be honest, that's the phone that everyone should be buying. Shouldn't even be recommending any other phone.
It's the ROG phone.
All right.
But I mean,
all right, go ahead.
I take tech tubers seriously towards what they say they're like their actual reviews. I trust their actual reviews. What they say, hey, I'm using this, I don't take that. I take that with more of a grain of salt.
Because it's gonna change.
It's gonna change, but I mean it's still just it's them being people and just like, yeah, I feel like using this for a while because I can.
Right.
Like it's partially that, but it's also I think some of them. I mean, it's like any type of YouTube thing. You want to be kind of unique. Like I know I've seen people from like Linus Tech Tips, etc. They have the money, obviously. They can like review whatever. And I've seen like 2 of them just like, oh yeah, they just used the Razer phone.
Yeah.
Like, is it a good phone? It's okay. It's like not, any review. It's never been like the best phone, but they're like, no one else uses it. I like how it looks. I'm using a Razer phone.
Yeah, it's kind of part of their shtick. They gotta. I mean, I don't know what Razer's paying Linus because they got all types of branding on that channel, and every time I see that,
they're not good friends anymore. But yeah,
yeah, I don't know who fucked that relationship up.
Well, I mean, like even like you can go watch Scrapyard Wars, and I'm just sitting here like watching Luke just like looking at his Razer phone, and it's just like, this is the dumbest fucking phone. Of course you're using it. And that's how
I mean, you might as well be using the fucking ROG phone.
Yeah, like, and that's how I take like tech tubers when it comes to them like talking about their like daily driver. It's just like they're not going to use the best phone as their daily driver. They're going to be like, I feel like this quirk for a week because I like it.
Yeah, that's true. It's definitely an interesting. It's definitely an interesting category. Like when I saw a lot of those people recommending the Surface Go, I was just like, stop recommending this. It's so niche. Say it's a cool product that's $500 and that's it. You don't have to actually recommend it.
Well, then that's what it is. If it's good for $500, it's good for $500.
I guess. All right. Now to a product that I would recommend. Lenovo's new ThinkPad P1 puts a Core i9 or Xeon in a thin and light laptop. Are you pumped on this, dude?
Wow. All makes sense now. Okay. You won't recommend a $500 Surface Go because it's not good enough. Now you're gonna get an i9 and a quarter of an inch thick laptop.
Yes. This is how we do things, all right? We just slam our specs in there. I like this fucking laptop. I think it looks good, and like the idea of using a Xeon with a Quadro, yes, that is appealing. Yeah.
In that size, but again, we'll see.
This is not the laptop you get for any sort of specs. Like, you don't want to get this laptop because you want to just ram it with hardcore specs. Like, you want to do all sorts of shit with it. This is a laptop that's just going to get shit done. It's going to do everything pretty well. You're not going to have to worry about it. It's a fucking Lenovo. I hate the little nub on the Lenovos. I wish they would just get rid of it.
I hate that they put Lenovo or IBM Lenovo on it.
Yeah, they had to put the IBM in the corner. It makes it look dumb. But normally Lenovo's are pretty thick. This one actually being thin and light is appealing to me because they do feel really nice for some reason. Yeah. I don't know what material that they use, but it feels good.
0.7 inches.
0.7 inches.
Which is awesome. Put an i7 in it, not a fucking Xeon i9 bullshit.
It's got the 4K touchscreen with 100% Adobe RGB and a 10-bit color depth. That means this is the perfect photographer's work laptop. So if you are a professional photographer, this is your Windows MacBook. This is the option that you would look at. And then you got the Quadro, which would run Lightroom beautifully. I mean, when I look at this, I think of like someone who is
a work machine.
It's a work machine.
It's a ThinkPad. It's a work machine.
Yeah. If you're someone who loves or who works in Photoshop, Illustrator, any sort of Adobe suite where you want that Windows environment, but you need a little bit better specs than sort of any other, thin and light, then this is an excellent machine to get.
And it looks good. You take this, you can go do your work, and then you come home and you sit it on your base station that has 8 fans on it.
You just put it in your freezer, dude. You just use it in the freezer. I like it though. I like it because I want that fucking screen in a MacBook. MacBook doesn't do the 100% Adobe RGB yet.
No, they're still all about P3.
Yeah, they do P3, which is good. It's a little bit different than Adobe RGB, but they do. It's not 100%. No. That's a completely different realm. That's 100% color accuracy. That's what you want. Hopefully these next iterations will get them, but I mean, I'm looking at this laptop and I'm like, you know what? Maybe this is the one that I want. Quadros are in there. It's pretty dope. Too bad it's not the RTX, Quadro, but
too bad it wasn't the graphics card that just got announced yesterday.
Maybe they'll put that one in there next.
But I mean, yeah, you still got 2 Thunderbolt 3 ports. You still got you actually have all the ports you'd ever want on a workstation style machine. You still have HDMI, so you can plug your camera in.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it looks good. It looks pretty it's definitely the prettiest IBM I've ever seen, or Lenovo, excuse me.
Yeah.
But yeah. And I mean,
the problem is that maybe
keyboards are usually really fucking good.
Oh, they're great. The problem is that probably should just wait until the next Intel iteration.
Yeah.
Because now we know that they're making thin and lights like this, thin and light, high spec workstations. So maybe just wait for the next Intel, because the i9 and the thin and light, we already know what's gonna happen. What, the ThinkPad P1 thermal throttles? You don't say.
No way. Yeah. Especially if you throw a Xeon in it. Like, oh yeah, no, dude. We thought we had the i9. It was 45 watts. It was bad enough, so we decided to throw a Xeon in. That'll fix it.
Yeah, they
I
should
don't know
have.
what
They should have
Xeon.
went with what Razer did, which is throw the i7 in there and then fucking vape it.
Yeah.
That fucking
Need that
vape chamber,
vapor.
dude.
Yeah.
Supposedly it works great. Everyone's saying, dude, my laptop is running nice and cool. That Razer gets more and more appealing to me every fucking week.
That's Lenovo. P1. Keep talking. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out which Xeon they actually put in it.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure. Yeah, every one I see it just says 8th gen Intel Core or Xeon.
Yeah, it's just mobile Xeon processor. Like thanks, guys.
Yeah, I don't know what that means. All right, well, you look for that. We didn't talk about the Samsung Note 9, which is the new Samsung flagship release. And I think it's pretty okay. But I'm going to have to agree with you, Jerry. I think the phone market is getting a little bit stale. It's just like, cool, you got the new Snapdragon. You got some more RAM in there. You got a yellow pen. Like, let's try to really push some boundaries here, because what's happening, these like small incremental upgrades, all it really is doing is making these companies money. Like, you're not really getting that much more consumer benefit out of it. So you're just kind of just flooding these companies with money, which in turn I guess creates better products. But I'm still waiting for, like, I think the iPhone 10's release was pretty big. That was a nice change of things, going that kind of full screen look. But then, like, how many iterations of that are we going to get before we get something new? How many iterations of this gigantic Note, half tablet sort of phone are we going to get before they actually implement something like an Apple Pencil into the phone rather than just kind of like a stylus?
The Bluetooth S Pen or whatever. Yeah. Yeah, it seems all right. It seems like if you want a Note, the thing I would hold off of buying a Note right now is the rumors, all the Google Pixel 3 rumors, because there have been rumors that the Pixel 3 XL this year is going to be 6.7 fucking inches big.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And the Note's 6.4, so that's definitely putting it in the Note competitor territory of like it's a fucking tablet.
Have you ever held a Note?
Yeah, but I also used to have and love 7-inch tablets. Like, going to 6.7 inches to me, like, no, that's a fucking tablet. That's beyond phablet. Yeah, that's beyond the phablet phone tablet bullshit. No, that's a fucking tablet.
Yeah, the Note is huge. It's a cool device, and I do like how the Note, they're making it more like this mobile PC where you connect it to the DeX system. I like that, and if they do that better, I'm gonna be a lot more interested in that.
I would too. I do think it's really cool. I just wish it wasn't Samsung, basically, but
yeah, I agree.
That's another story. But
you're gonna get a nice, pretty screen though. That's for sure.
Yeah, but like, it is. I think what they did good though is like, no, the Note figured out that big size phone perfectly. Like, that's what I think the Note did and has always done, is they've made it as big as I think you should make a phone.
I think this is the biggest that you should go.
Yeah, so that's why I'm like curious about this Pixel 3 rumors, and also terrified, because that's absurd. There's no way around that. That's just
especially if they don't give you a stylus.
Yeah.
Like, part of the size is because you have a stylus, because you're already using it with two hands, and that's kind of the way that the thing works. I don't know how many people actually. Doobie, you have a Note, don't you?
I have the Note 8.
All right, do you use the stylus that comes with it?
Not often, but when I need it, I enjoy using it for certain things like screen capture.
So you do like the drag to capture the screen and stuff?
Yeah, if I want to capture like something on the screen, but I don't want to capture the whole screen, I can just pop out the stylus and just grab it.
On average, how many times do you think you use the stylus a month?
A month? Probably anywhere between like 10 to 15.
Oh, so that's pretty often then.
Yeah, I use it at least. I would say I use it on average at least 3 times a week.
Yeah. So that's enough to use it though. That's enough to
Plus,
want the
if
pen.
you're somebody like me who's a fidgeter, it's nothing just more satisfying than
Yeah, popping
grabbing
the
it,
pen
and
out.
just playing with it. It's just
Now, do you use your phone now that you have the Note a lot more often than you would use like a laptop or a PC or a tablet, just because you have basically a mobile PC in your pocket?
I go to bed every night, and I usually have Twitch on my phone instead of my laptop, and I fall asleep to that.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Now you
that
just need it on your Switch.
I mean, I also like with the Comcast thing with like Xfinity where I can watch TV. Like, I'll find myself at work watching some of my DVR on demand if I'm not watching Netflix.
does it fill the whole screen, or is there any bars associated
It fills the whole screen. And when I'm at work and I have it plugged into like the fast charger, I can also throw on the performance mode where it's just like upping the quality of the screen.
Right.
Yeah, like that sounds great to me, and I think that's why I think if Samsung nailed that size perfectly.
Yeah.
I think if you start going bigger, especially without a stylus, that sounds
Yeah, especially I have big hands, so like the Note 8 is perfect for me.
Yeah. I mean, it's still big in your hands, even though you have bigger hands. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
yeah.
Like, it's a huge phone.
I would say that like the Note 9, I saw pictures of it, and it looks like the Note 8.
Yeah.
The internals might be better, but it's not
marginally.
worth upgrading from the Note 8 if you already have the Note 8.
It's really not that much better.
Oh, you think you're going to stick with the Note?
I'll stick with the Note 8 until something really comes along that makes me want to jump from it.
Well, are you going to ever go back to a smaller phone?
A 7-inch Pixel 3.
I will never go to a smaller phone, and I will never go to... Well, I have 3 things I'll never go to. I'll never go back to a smaller phone. I'll never go to Apple. And I will never go to a phone. This is one of the reasons why I won't go to Apple that doesn't have expandable storage.
No, that's fair. So yeah, no, never mind. No Pixel.
I love
basically
storage.
Basically, you're gonna buy a Note, and you're gonna buy another Note.
Yeah,
That's
I have
about
a
it.
28 gig SD card in here right now, and I'm using maybe about half of it for videos.
No, I miss having that on my iPhone. It does suck.
Well, they had took it out for the Note 5, didn't have it, and they put it back into the Note 8, and that was one of the big selling points why I wanted a Note 8 again, because I had gotten when I had switched from Apple, I got the Note 5, but the Note 5 had taken out the removable battery and the removable storage.
I forgot they had removable batteries. I forgot
And
that
there was a lot of
popular thing.
backlash to that because that was one of the things that really separated Samsung from Apple.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's why they added the expansion back too.
And then the whole problem with the Note 7 and the battery issues they had with that.
Mhm.
Yeah, you don't want it to explode. But
Yeah,
no, I think that's
the
why
Note 5 and the Note 7 battery was not a great point for Samsung.
I think that's actually a good point. Like, if you have a phone that big, I probably would want external storage.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, if you have a phone that big that it totally doubles as a tablet, like, yeah, I want to watch movies on that. I want 300 gigs of storage.
With open source Android, you can throw video game emulators on it and play no problem, really. Especially when you get the 8-bit do or 8-bit do like Bluetooth controllers, you can just literally hook that up to your phone, and now you have a controller for your phone.
See, and that's a completely different user type for that phone. You know what I mean? Like that's a very niche market, but that's where the Note kind of comes in. It really does tackle that niche really well, and I would love that if they figure out how to do the deck system better. Like if that was like just a better system and you were able to really get some nice use out of it, then I would absolutely look at a phone, because I wouldn't need a tablet. I could just go anywhere and just plug it into a screen, and then I'm good to go. That would be awesome.
And they'll never get rid of the bezel.
With the top and bottom bezels?
They'll never get rid of it.
And
I don't know if they can.
I was gonna say for a Note, I think that's more okay than a smaller phone.
Yeah, the Note's big enough that you really don't even notice it that much.
It's the same reason why I want small bezels on an iPad.
Yeah.
Like if it is something getting towards that tablet size, and especially if I'm going to be putting because I mean with stuff like that and basically anything above 6.5 inches or about there. The thing I do the most is I put it on a TV, or like I use it as a TV, and I'll put it like right in front of my monitor. It's always on a desk sitting, and I don't want that to be. I mean, I want a little bit of bezel, so it's not just glass on my table.
I mean, if you have a smart TV and all those like the new TVs that are coming out, you can like hook up your phone to your TV essentially, and like if I wanted to do gaming emulator, I'm pretty certain there's probably a way to get the image to go from my phone to my TV wirelessly, and just have the controller connected to the phone, and now I'm playing on my TV.
Yeah, you can. It's absolutely a possibility. So that's cool. That's cool. We have someone that actually is in that niche of the Note line.
Yeah, and like when the Note 8 came out, a lot of people were kind of miffed that the fingerprint scanner was on the back. Because a lot of the iPhones and stuff, it's your thumb.
You want it on the back.
It is now, but for me, this is actually like doing this is actually pretty natural because I have big hands.
The one thing I will say is I don't want it where the Note is. I think didn't the new one change that so it's just in the back. The thing that did bug me about that was it was right next to
close to the camera.
Yeah,
smudge it
but
all
like
the time.
For me, like the way that like Google started doing it, like, and this honestly comes from. I used to love those old Motorola's when Motorola made the 6, or not the 6, the X, like the Moto X. It wasn't even a fingerprint reader. It was just a little dimple right here. It's literally the best fucking thing ever for holding your phone. And then once everyone started putting it there, I'm like, yes, thank you.
I will say the worst button on this phone is the 2 volume buttons. You have a third button right there. For Bixby, which I never use.
No one does.
But if you go into Bixby, there's actually a setting to turn that button off. Bixby, whatever the hell it is, I don't care. You can turn this button off. So this button literally does nothing now because I turned that setting off.
Yeah.
But people who do their own like firmware and stuff, they've made it so that they've programmed that button to do a bunch of different things for them. So if they want to,
I think there was an update.
Get right to their music, they can hit that button.
I think there's an update where you can change it. I'm pretty sure. But yeah, now it's
it's just an auxiliary button, really. Just a programmable button, which is not a bad thing.
No.
Easy to open your camera right up with that button or something.
I think I've done this before, but no, dude. It's all about, okay, bam, there my phone's unlocked. Oh, cool, there's notifications. I'm not even touching it. Literally just because of this.
Oh, it can swipe?
Yeah, you can even swipe with it.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
You can swipe over to clear notifications, things like that. No, it's so much better because your hand is naturally right here when you pick up the phone.
Is the screen always on?
No.
And by that I mean like, okay, so like, you know,
well, it can be, but no.
Yeah, like with my this is the default screen. It's always on.
You can do that. You can do that with most OLED screens now, because that's how they were able to do that. Is because you can kill with OLED, you can kill all the other pixels and just those pixels on.
Trust me, Doobie, you're gonna miss that if you don't have it again, because the iPhone doesn't have that, and I miss it so much. It's
fantastic because I can get a quick glance at my date, time, battery percentage, and notifications.
The problem with Samsung, and I hate to say it, it's just like their software is so bad, dude. Like the OS or the what is it called, the launcher that they put on it, it just sucks, dude. I hate it, and I wish they could just do what Samsung does right. Give me that that OLED front screen. Give me all those little weird lights, like when you get a text, you get like that blue light that blinks. Like that's real unique to a Samsung phone. There's no other phone that does that.
Which I'm trying to remember what light it is.
It's like at the top right or something.
Yeah, it's like the top corner.
Yeah.
It's red if your battery's dying. It's blue if you have like any notification.
Shit's awesome. It really helps. And like
it's green for something else. I can't remember. I think maybe missed call or maybe a phone call coming in.
Like those little extra things are pretty cool. And like with the edge one that I had, like it had like edge gestures that you can just kind of swipe to bring up different things, and that was cool.
Oh yeah, you get to quick contacts. So like if I have my parents on there, so I need to call my mom real quick. Instead of going through all the menus, I can just swipe on the edge.
Yeah.
And hit dial, and I'm calling her immediately.
Yeah, they do some cool shit, but then they kind of just. I mean, you get your phone and you have 50 fucking Amazon apps. You have 50 fucking Samsung apps that you don't use, and it's just like, get out of here. You can't even delete them. They just sit on your phone,
Yeah.
They need to fix all that, and then they will really bring...
You also need Bixby. Bigsby.
Bigsby.
Clayton Bigsby.
Clayton Bigsby, the big boy. No, I could care less. But I'm also not somebody who uses smart assistants. I don't use Cortana. I don't have a Google Home. I don't have an Alexa. I don't
really use
care for that stuff.
Yeah, I don't.
I really don't find a use for it for myself.
I want to know if you're gonna get the Note 9. You think you're gonna skip it?
I'll probably get the Note 10 on it, or Note X or whatever that
You're
is.
gonna stick with the Note
But
line.
I'm fine with my Note 8 until I break it, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
I mean, I want a new phone, but I want a new phone in like November.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm also the person that got the Note 8. Like, I actually got it before Street Date. Like, the Sprint store literally like called me and they're like, "Yeah, your phone came in early. Come and pick it up."
Yeah, that's awesome.
Because it was supposed to come out like on a Friday, and it was like a Wednesday. They called me, so I had the phone 2 days earlier than release.
I mean, I'll be in the market for Black Friday because then I'll like, okay, I'll have had this for 2 years. I can pass it on to like my parents or something and feel good about it. But I'm probably gonna buy either an iPhone or a Pixel. But I'm probably also honestly, what's gonna be that choice is I'm cheap. I'm a very cheap human being, guys.
I think the iPhone LCD is
That's
looking
what I'm hoping.
nice.
That's what I'm hoping. Well, no, because I got this for $240 after it was out for a month.
I mean, I don't think you're gonna be able to get any iPhone for that cheap unless you go.
I don't think
way
so
back.
either. But if a Pixel 3 goes that cheap, you know,
$1,000 phone. $1,000 phone.
Yeah,
no,
that's
that was
a
the thing.
computer.
This is an $800 phone. 1 month after release, I was able to get it for $240.
Yeah, and the way that these like dealers do it now, like the way that the mobile companies, you can't just buy a phone anymore. You have to pretty much go on like a lease.
Well, you can buy
plan.
a phone, but then you have to drop it all up front.
Yeah, you can't just pay a certain point. You have to drop the whole brand. And I was like, no, I'm good on that.
Yeah, I think I actually might do that for the first time this year. Is just pay for the fucking phone because I don't like being locked into these plans. They're always changing nowadays, and I don't know.
Yeah, I got lucky. The Sprint store that I went to, they're actually really good, and the guy was able to not only put the phone on my plan but save me more money doing a few things here and there to where my bill didn't change at all.
Sprint's awesome.
My only issue with Sprint is if you're not connected to Wi-Fi and you make a phone call, you have no access to internet. So if I'm on a phone call and I, put on speaker and go to the internet, if I'm not on Wi-Fi, I can't connect anything.
Really?
AT&T, I could do that. On Sprint, you can't unless you're connected to Wi-Fi.
Maybe that's an Android thing?
If you are sharing information with somebody and you're on the phone with them and you're trying to bring up a website or send a file to them like through email,
I don't have that issue.
You're gonna have to hang up.
I don't have that issue.
I do. Yeah, I haven't tried it in a while because I'm usually connected to Wi-Fi no matter where I am.
I know that definitely used to be a thing, and that was a CDMA thing. But since they started putting SIMs in them too, it's gotten a lot better.
Interesting.
I'll have to try again. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's updated. I just haven't bothered checking because I'm so used to the problem I used to have.
All right. Well, let's end the show.
that was coming. Okay. Well, I was gonna say that was all coming off of them only running off of CDMA because they use CDMA for data too. So you had one bandwidth. You could either do voice or data off of it.
It was just all on one band.
Right. And then Verizon because it was a problem with Verizon and Sprint, both of them. And then they eventually started putting SIMs in the phones too, realizing, hey, we should probably do that. So people can actually start doing that.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So we had one more story. Basically, Apple dropped group FaceTime out of iOS 12. They're going to release it later down the line in a software update. I don't know why. No one really knows why. Issue seems to be, I don't know. No one really knows.
Takes time. I'm still hopeful for it. I still believe in it.
Yeah, it's going to be cool. 32 people in a voice call. It was whatever. But, I mean, we were talking about Zoom earlier.
It's one of those things that the amount we were bitching at the start of the show, like, that's one of those places where, no, I'm fine if Apple takes more time. Please take your time. Actually make that good.
Yeah, exactly. So, hopefully they do it right.
I'm usually fine with that on software. The hardware is what kills it.
So we'll catch you guys next week. Make sure you follow us over at No Life Digital on Twitter and Instagram, and follow us over on our website, nolife.digital. And don't forget to tune in next Tuesday for the gaming show, and then next Wednesday for the tech show. Peace.